Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Cure for the Common Game. Today, in deck number 566, we're going to do the first Ikoria card in Obosh, the Preypiercer. Now, Obosh is 5 mana, 3/5. It has a companion, though. The companion ability. Now, I know that for commander purposes, when you use a legendary creature with companion as your commander, that companion rule does not apply. Now, if you use it as the companion, it does, but I am obviously I'm building every legendary creature so that they are their own commander. Now, even though that rule does not apply, I kind of think it does. Flavor wise, Obosh wants odd things, right? That's the flavor behind the card. So that's how I built the deck. Uh, I took the companion restriction and did it literal. So, uh, your starting deck, I think I will probably have to explain this in the other 8 videos I do for these. But if a source you control with an odd converted mana cost would deal damage to a permanent or player, it deals double that damage to that permanent player instead. Now, this is awesome. This is double damage for all your stuff for the minor cost of losing all the even cards. Because, that totally makes sense. Because Obosh can't even. Yeah, I'm sorry. So, I come up with the idea for Obosh not too long after this card was spoiled. And my idea was goblins. Okay, so bear with me here. Goblins. All the good goblins in black and red are at odd CMC anyway, right? You, what, you don't believe me? Here, check this out. Goblin Matron, Siege Gang Commander, Goblin Grenade, Skirt Fire Marshal, Goblin King, Mad Auntie, Goblin Chieftain. I'm sorry, Goblin War Chief. This is Goblin Chieftain. Knucklebone Witch, Boggart Harbinger, Drownew's Crusade. What? How often do you get a chance to play with Drownew's Crusade, right? And then, while not a goblin, the Cabal Slaver is deals whenever a goblin deals combat damage to a player, that player discards a card. Whoa! Because we're talking about flooding goblins here, right? And or just doing all kinds of crazy goblin shenanigans. One of the first 2 card combos I thought of was Goblin Sharpshooter because it costs 3. It's odd. It'd be really odd to give a Gorgon's head to that Sharpshooter. Just pave the way. I did have a chance to actually play this deck once. I played it with my good friend Danny, and I'll tell you the card that did the absolute most work was Goblin Warrens. Now, if I had, I didn't draw my cool card draw like Skull Clamp, Read the Bones, or Foreboding Fruit. Didn't draw none of that, but with the Warrens, sacrificing 2 goblins to get 3 goblins, I found out it was absolutely busted with Squee. Yeah. It's Squee the Immortal because you can sack him and play him and sack him and you just keep on. And that's, very true to the spirit of what Squee does. But let's get to the rest of the goblins, shall we? We have, and notice all of these are odd, Warbreak Trumpeteer, Goblin Champion, right? Festering Goblin, Goblin Sledder, the Dark Dwellers. Goblin Assassin. You don't really get a chance to play with Goblin Assassin that much, right? Ward Eye Witch, Goblin Dynamo. Now, I'll admit Goblin Dynamo may come out. It stuck in my hand because, although because at the time when it was stuck in my hand, I was kind of a slave to the sack 2 draw or sack 2, get 3, the Warrens. And that was consuming all my mana, and I just didn't have the 7. There are a few concessions, like the Goblin Champion, I think, or whatever is the Goblin Wizard. Sensation Gorger, Krinko, Boggart Loggers. Now, we all know the popularity of green, so Forest Walk on a Goblin, I mean, yeah, you could sack it to destroy something, but Forest Walk, Raging Goblin, Legion Warballs, Goblin Taskmaster. Now, Goblin Surgeon, sack a Goblin to regenerate a target creature. That, it doesn't say yours, it's a target creature. Right? This is political as anything you can be political in Goblins. Prickly Boggart, Frenzied Goblin. Now, I'm counting Goblin Rally in there as a Goblin. It puts 4. Yeah, playing with this one, I know it's kind of suboptimal, but we can't use Into the Warrens. It's even. We can't use Dragon Fodder. It's even. So, this was the closest one. 5 mana, 4 bodies. Okay. Goblins Goblins of the Flarg from way back in the dark. My first set. So, I mean, Mountain Walk? Yeah, we're not controlling any dwarves, so that doesn't matter to us. Skirk Prospector. Sack a Goblin to get some red mana. Shoot. And Goblin Balloon Brigade, because every now and then you need a giant flyer. Dictate of the Twin Gods, kind of acting more as another doubler. Shared Animosity. Ooh. That's a beating. That is such a beating of a card. Let's look at our fast mana here. Of course, we got a Soul Ring, a Dark Ritual, a Vanefire Border Post, Mana Geyser, Seething Song. And now, Brightstone Ritual is probably one of the Goblin Ritual. Oh my gosh. What a card. Now, I am playing with Goblin War Drums because two reasons. I mean, it is a great card, and, it totally fits the theme, right? Raid Bombardment. Whenever a creature you control with power 2 or less attacks, it deals 1 damage to whatever they're attacking. Now, the problem here is you're not always going to get this because we have so many Goblin pump-ups that you can actually, price your Goblins out of reach. They can be power 3. So, and another thing to note that I realized in the game while playing is that your Goblin tokens, damage is not doubled because tokens have a CMC of 0, and as we all know, 0 is even. Besides, Goblins can't really concept of 0. They want everything. Return target Goblin Birthright. It's a Goblin Regrowth. Sure, why not? So we've got, what is this? Removal. Now, I kind of like this. We've got, I'm going to start off with Char. Now, I realize it's going to deal double damage to all. It's going to deal 8 to, and then 4 to us. But you know what? I feel like that's probably the most Goblin thing in the world. Some dust on it. Of course, we have a Murder. Gotta have a Tarfire, right? Attrition. Yeah. I will sack a Goblin to destroy your non-black creature. Because, they're Goblins. There's a good chance that whatever I'm destroying is better than a Goblin. Pillage. The new Impetus. Shine. See, I put the shiny Impetus in there just because, Goblins love shiny stuff. And I was like, man, this is really good. So I went ahead and put the black one in there as well. The Parasitic Impetus. Of course, we have the Chaos Warp. Final Revels is kind of a board wipe-ish type thing. And Oblight's Ending, because I don't know why. I was in the Lorwyn binder, and I was like, yeah, okay. So, let's look at our non-basic lands. Of course, you know we're starting out with the Goblin Burrows, right? I mean, I'm trying a new camera thing. Well, it's not really new. I have my camera mounted to a different tripod, and I thought, well, you know what? I'll try it for an actual deck tech video. So I'm not sure I like it. We'll probably go back. Unclaimed territory. You know, of course, we're choosing goblins. The Castle Lochthwain to draw some cards. Castle Embreth to pump our team. Stenzia Bloodhall. Now, keep in mind, that doesn't double because, you know, 0, even, whatnot. Shadowblood Ridge, Smoldering Marsh. Rakdos Guildgate. Field of Ruin. Myriad Landscape. Rakdos Carnarium. Bloodfell Caves. Evolving Wilds. Vivid Crag. And Rose Passage. Y'all saw that one coming, right? So, that is it for Obosh. I think this was the deck that I was most, the most prepared for. So, we're going to go ahead, and of course, you know, assorted basic lands. As usual, the deck list is on Architect. And let's see if this camera does the thing with the... Oh, there we go. So let's go put it on the wall. Deck number 566 is done. That's our first Ikoria deck, and we will... There's what? 30-something more? So I do appreciate y'all watching. Y'all let me know what you think. But right now, we're going to shuffle and cut.